Social music talk. You know, you were my final drummer of the Beat Villains. You were the first and final, I think.
I came in and I conquered, and I slayed it to the point that no one else wanted to follow it, right?
But it's like the group, believe it or not, when you played that final gig with us at Old Eye in 96, late 96.
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday.
I'm sorry, this was 97, actually, April 97. We had played a Harlow's gig, and then the next night an Old Ironsides gig, and you played the Old Eye gig, and that was it. That was the end of the Beat Villains. But actually, we had interest in a label that was going to check us out at the Harlow's gig, but they didn't show up. Their A&R people never showed. And I was planning this for like 3 months, all psyched. Like, wow, there's going to be labels. Two labels said they were going to come check out the Harlow's show. Both flaked. That's when I decided, man, it's too hard to become a rock star. So I started focusing on writing, actually.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's you for boys and girls. For those of you listening who feel like, hey, the A&R guy didn't show up, it's time to hang it up and throw away your propensity to make music. You did just the opposite. And in fact, once I had my gig, and you were living in part of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And I would get off there and I would head out to in Orinda. That's right. Where Gary Radnich is from, a sports guy who just got fired too from KNBR. Anyway, that's another story. But the reality is, I would go out to your place in Orinda, and we would write music. And if you needed, a guitar part or a drum part put into something, and you kept on doing that. And I remember doing that up into the early 2000s with you before you had you left the Orinda place. But I was impressed that you never let the lack of getting signed to a label stop you from creating, and you've probably created some of your better work since then. So good for you.
Well, thank you. It was fun living in the Bay Area for a while. I actually ended up on the air again there, and that was at KNGY. It was called Energy 92.7, and it was an independent station that basically covered San Francisco, but not much else of the Bay Area. You could probably get it to the Caldecott Tunnel.
That's where I had to go through that tunnel to get to your place.
Yeah, that's right. That was fun when you came over. We did some recording, and I've actually redone those recordings recently, like reproduced them, and you're on them.
I love it. It lives on. See, those were really good times. I appreciate you including me, and obviously we had a friendship that extended through to making music together, and that's very cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As musicians and friends and just, radio people that can just talk about it for an hour.
I'm telling you what, it goes by quick, man.
But you know what? We've talked about radio. I want to talk about your music now. And Sam, the producer, tells me that your music's ready, I think.
I hope so. Let me try.
Okay.
We're just heard something, Sam. You're rocking it a little bit there. This is older stuff, though. This is like, 20-year-old, older than that, but was a young man back then.
Well, it's one of my favorite songs by you, so I hope you still like it.
I probably still like it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of the guys that hates your old stuff, so.
Yeah, cool. Well, this is it. Let's listen to it. John Young, No One Listens.
I've got so much left to say.
I've got so much left to say.
No one listens anyway. I'm like a blackbird in the sky.
Like a blackbird in the sky.
Now I know what it's like to die. And I find myself dreaming of the day where I long to be. Will I find myself in you? 'Cause no one listens to me. Does anybody care?
everyone listens.
Nice stuff.
Really cool. John
I'll
Young.
tell you what, man,
That's the
you guys
Darwins.
are sweet to even be able to dig that out of the archives there. That's a 3-song EP that we recorded, I believe it was 1997. I got to give Kathleen Estay some credit, too. The backup vocals there that she did for us out of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Great singer. I don't know if she's still
Great
working
vocals.
in Sacramento, but
All around,
Yeah,
the whole
she did a
recording.
nice job.
Well done. And
Well,
who else was in it?
Well, that recording, the drummer was Eric Murray. You remember him,
Right, he drummed
he's
on
still-
my show.
Yeah, he's in Sacramento still. I don't know that he's still drumming. He was my drummer for years, but nobody else played on that track but Eric and I. I played the guitars, I played the bass. I sang the counterpart to Kathleen's vocal there, and I just remember it was Eric's brother John Murray that wrote that song. I thought it had such a pretty melody, and I thought it would sound good with a female counter melody to it, singing the other parts. And
Right.
I ran into Kathleen. I was working in Sacramento, and she had said, I'm a singer. If you guys ever need one, I thought, well, why don't you come down to the studio and see what's happening? She 2 or 3 takes, and she nailed that thing. So she was really feeling that song. So that brings back some good memories. I appreciate you guys playing that.
I love that song, man. If that
Me
got
too.
national exposure, I think that could be a national hit.
It was, so those were the dreams that you're allowed to have when you're, 20, whatever that was.
Yeah.
I guess I was in my 97. I was like 33 or 32, yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean that in my catalog of Sacramento songs, local, regional, Northern California songs, it's in my top 10 all time.
God, I appreciate that. It's coming from you because you had a lot of bands come in and out of your studio over the years. So that's pretty cool to get to rank that high. That's one of my favorites too. I'll give John Murray and his brother Eric credit for the writing and the drumming on that on that channel.
And John was the singer of Mature Innocence.
Yep,
And
that's when I was just playing guitar, singing backup. But then I wanted to step out in front. John was fine with me taking that song and singing it. So, producing it with Kathleen and myself and George Peterbridge. You remember him, the late, great George Peterbridge? who
George
the
was
bass player.
really cool.
God, he was cool and a great bass player. He passed away. That's almost 15 years ago. Still hard to believe. He died in 2005.
He was
But
in his
he was
40s, right?
He was a big part of our records. He was part of our band for years. He was originally, the original bass player and singer. So
Yeah, he played on some of my
that's for sure.
recordings with you.
That's right. He's pretty phenomenal and very adaptable to any style, which is what I loved about him.
But you guys did a CD, actually a song for our quad CD called Overflow. The song was Nature Sets Its Own Law, written by quad listeners. The lyrics.
That was phenomenal. It was so weird that you got your listeners to write lyrics and then you found local bands to produce them, to turn them into a song. And that's where John Murray, Eric, the drummer's brother, really came through because he sang on that one.
Yeah.
I played guitars, and George played the bass, and we recorded that. And you had something to do with it because you oversaw the production of that record.
Right. I put it together. But
Yeah,
you
yes,
also, you had a band going that I liked. You were in the Darwins.
The Darwins were ultimately after John Murray, the songwriter that we spoke of, left Mature Innocence. There was just Eric, me, and George. And we looked at each other, and we felt like we had evolved to some point, so that's where the name the Darwins came from. It never stuck. I never loved the name, but pretty soon it's like you got to stick with the name. You might as well, so you make your reputation around town under that name. And the Darwins played up until we finally did a full-length album in 2000, and it got very little traction. And by 2001, the band was kind of splintering, and by 2002, it was done. But I remain close to the guys, and like I said, George passed away in 2005. Eric and I, although we don't see each other much anymore, but thanks to social media, we have some sort of take on each other's lives, and it's too bad that a lot of these great musicians have not stuck with it. And coming back to that discussion we had earlier, you've never said I'm too old or I'm too irrelevant or I don't want to keep making music. You've continued to make music and play the guitar and try to discover new things about the guitar, and
Yeah.
I hope I'll continue to do that. I don't ever want to get to the point where music isn't a part of my life because it's sort of in my DNA like it's in yours.
Right. Well, right now you're in a cover band, right? Tell us about that.
Well, yes. Interestingly enough, I'm in a cover band that plays around a lot of the wineries that we live close to so many great wineries up here in Northern California and in Napa and El Dorado and Sassoon City and Sassoon Valley and whatnot. But it's just myself and a great bass player and arranger, John Taylor, one of the terrific best guitar players I've ever run into in my life. Randy Walker was in the Walker Blues Band for years. He was looking for a change. So about 10 years ago, we started making music. And last year, Randy, at one of our rehearsals, said, you know what, I want to challenge this band to write at least 2 original songs before the year is up. And we actually did that and went and recorded them in Sacramento this summer. So I'm hoping to have them mixed and done by the end of the year. And I'm hoping I can send them to you and you'll give me your Alex Cosper opinion of the latest original work I'm working on.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out. I mean, I'm always interested in whatever you're doing. I mean, on Facebook, I'm always checking you out. You're one of my favorite guys on Facebook and in real life.
Well, listen, I know, and I appreciate that because you and I actually have a real life friendship where a lot of times on social media, I'm you know, and you've brought up that point on social media so many times. If you're going to just be a buffoon, then you know that's why they make the delete button, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
People who are just gonna
yeah. Oh man, I had to delete my freaking drummer from the '90s because he was being a troll. Man, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so that's.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me correct that. I did not delete him. I freaking thought he deleted me, but then I checked later, and it was just his page was down or something, and it turns out he's still there, but he stopped being a troll after I made that announcement.
No trolls allowed. It's like, come on.
Man, do you ever have trolls on yours? Because it seems like you mostly have a good vibe, and you're sharing like fun stuff.
Yeah, I really feel like my take on social media, for better or for worse, I leave some of the more thought-provoking stuff to people like yourself who are deep thinkers who listen to people. But I'm not a deep thinker. But you also publish you publish things that the industry can use. You know, your playlist, your dissection of political things that are happening in a way that makes people think of them a little deeper than just black and white. I look at social media for myself as like a scrapbook.
Social music.